Valentine's Day has bones, not metaphorical bones, literal ones. Most holidays arrive wearing a costume. Valentine's Day shows up in pink, in red, in cellophane and ribbon. It smells like roses and sugar, speaks in cliches we barely hear anymore. Be mine, love you forever, XOXO, maybe even the little heart symbol. And yet, beneath that costume, Valentine's Day has bones. Not metaphorical bones, literal ones. Bones attributed to a man who lived under an empire that believed love was dangerous, marriage was a military liability, and loyalty to your conscience could cost you your head. Today, this isn't a story about romance as we sell it. It's a story about why love, serious love, has always made people nervous. By the end of this, you might feel that Valentine's Day just feels less sweet, but it may also feel more honest. To understand where Valentine's Day comes from, we have to begin in a place that would feel alien to us now, ancient Rome, in the middle of February. Rome did not celebrate love with chocolates. From February 13th to 15th, the city erupted into a festival called Lupercalia, an ancient fertility rite older than Christianity itself. It was loud, physical, and soaked in symbolism. Priests known as the Luperci gathered near a cave sacred to Rome's mythical founders, Romulus and Remus. There, they sacrificed goats for fertility and dogs for purification. The hides of these animals were cut into strips, dipped in blood, and carried into the streets. Young men, often drunk, sometimes naked, ran through the city, whipping women with these bloodied strips. Not as punishment, this was welcomed. Roman women believed that this ritual would make them fertile, ensure safe childbirth, and bless their future marriages. There was also a lottery. Women placed their names into an urn. Men drew those names out. So for the duration of the festival, and sometimes longer, they were paired together. It was ritualized chaos, a collision of superstition, sexuality, and social bonding. This was February in Rome, not romantic, but fertile, not sentimental, but symbolic. And when Christianity began to spread through the empire, it didn't arrive in a vacuum. It arrived inside this world. By the 3rd century, Rome was restless. Christianity was growing, but it was still illegal. Christians refused to worship the emperor as a god. They rejected Roman customs regarding intimacy and family life. They believed marriage was sacred, exclusive, and lifelong, an idea that ran directly against a society where polygamy and concubines were common. Then came Emperor Claudius II. Claudius was a practical man. Rome needed soldiers. So he believed unmarried men fought better, less afraid, less distracted, less tied to their home. So according to later Christian tradition, Claudius issued an edict. Young men were forbidden to marry. Historians debate the details of this decree. Roman records themselves are sparse. But what matters is how the story was remembered, because memory shapes meaning. Enter Valentine, or rather Valentines. The Catholic Church recognizes at least 3 martyrs named Valentine or Valentinus, all executed in the 3rd century. Their stories overlap, blur, and contradict each other. This is not unusual in ancient history. Names repeat, legends merge, memory fills in gaps. But the most enduring figure is Valentine of Rome, a Christian priest. According to tradition, Valentine looked at Claudius's law and saw something more than policy. He saw an injustice. Young couples who had embraced Christianity wanted to marry, not just legally, but sacramentally. They believed marriage was a vow made before God, not merely the state. So Valentine married them anyway, quietly, secretly, at night. In defiance of imperial power, this was not a grand rebellion. It was intimate resistance, love performed in whispers. Eventually, Valentine was caught. Imprisonment in ancient Rome was not gentle. Valentine was beaten, interrogated, tortured. He was brought before Roman authorities to be judged according to the law of the empire he had disobeyed. And here, the story shifts into legend. One of the men involved in judging Valentine was named Asterius. According to Christian tradition, Asterius had a daughter who was blind. Valentine prayed with her. Then, she was healed. Miracle stories always sit at the edge of history like this. They're impossible to prove, but also impossible to ignore. What matters here is the consequence. Asterius and his household converted afterwards to Christianity. For Rome, this was intolerable. Conversion was contagious. Faith spread through stories. Stories spread through sacrifice. In the year 269 AD, Valentine was finally sentenced to execution. Not a single death, but 3. First, he was beaten, then stoned, finally beheaded. The charge was not romance. It was loyalty to faith, to conscience, to a vision of love Rome could not control. And before his death, Valentine is said to have written a note to the girl he had healed, or perhaps to his jailer's daughter. The details vary. The signature, however, does not. It wrote, "From your Valentine." Centuries passed. Rome fell. Christianity rose. And the memory of Valentine did not disappear. It transformed. In 496 AD, Pope Gelasius I officially declared February 14th the feast day of Saint Valentine. Whether this was purely devotional or a strategic attempt to overwrite Lupercalia with Christian meaning is still debated. Likely, it was both. Christianity often did not erase pagan festivals. It just absorbed them, reshaped them, gave them new language and flavor. The fertility rites of February were too deeply rooted to vanish, but they could be reframed. Blood rituals became saints' days. Human desire became sanctified love. And slowly, February changed its tone. By the Middle Ages, something curious happened. People across England and France began to believe that February 14th marked the beginning of birds' mating season. The natural world itself seemed to choose partners on St. Valentine's Day. Then came the poets. In 1375, Geoffrey Chaucer wrote Parliament of Fowls, casually linking St. Valentine's Day with romantic pairing. It was 2 brief lines in that poem. But lines like that are seeds. Shakespeare followed. So did others. Love, once dangerous and defiant, became a thing of literature. By the 1400s, people were exchanging handwritten valentines. The oldest surviving example dates to 1415, written by Charles, Duke of Orleans, to his wife while imprisoned in the Tower of London. Love had survived empire. It had survived martyrdom. Now it survived captivity. Of course, then came industry. Printing presses, cheaper paper, reliable postal services. In the 1840s, Esther A. Howland began mass-producing Valentine's cards in America. Lace, ribbons, sentimental verse. Love was made replicable, profitable, scalable. By the early 1900s, companies like Hallmark started to industrialize affection. What once required poetry now required postage. Today, over 145 million Valentine's Day cards are sent every year. Billions are spent on flowers alone. Love has become a seasonal economy, and yet none of this erases the earlier layers. The saint who defied an emperor, the priest who married couples in secret, the bones held in churches in Dublin, Rome, and elsewhere, each claiming a piece of Valentine. Because Valentine did not die for romance, he died for commitment. Father Frank O'Gara, a priest at Whitefriars Street Church in Dublin, one of the churches said to house Valentine's remains, once reflected on what Valentine represents today. Not gushing love, not infatuation, but endurance. If Valentine were alive now, O'Gara suggests, he would warn couples that love changes, passion matures, and suffering is not a failure of commitment. It's simply part of it. Human love, he says, is blessed, but it also casts a shadow. And perhaps that is the truest inheritance of Valentine's Day that we still see today. Not candy, not roses, but the unsettling idea that love, real love, has always demanded courage. Because love binds us, and anything that binds us can also be used against us. Empires understood that, saints lived it, and once a year, quietly, beneath all the pink and red noise, we still remember it, even if we no longer know why.